So let me show you one of the best radio connections in ham radio. This is by a lot of people doing this, and it's called Anderson powerpoles. And for an example, let me show you this. So the nice thing about Anderson powerpoles is that they are what they call genderless. They can only plug in one way, but there's no real gender to them. Because here, let's do this. There you go. Those are two plugs. They only fit together one way, and they are genderless. So they fit together real nicely, and they are very quick to unplug. I just can't unplug while I am recording or holding the camera and recording at the same time. And I use it everywhere. Here is what the connectors look like. So you got these parts here. These are your plastic parts. They have many different colors. And then you have these little connectors here. So these are what attach to the wire with a crimper, and that is how they connect up. So this little bump part, they both these parts rub together, and that is how they connect. So I'm going to attempt, and I don't know how this is going to work with the lighting and everything I got, to show you how to put one together. So in this case, I need one of these small little ones, which is a 15 amp. So this is the little 15 amp. The hole is small. This is the smallest I'm aware of. There might be smaller, but this is just a small little hole for a small little wire. We are going to make this work. Apparently I've been still recording. And what I found best is usually I put, here's the crimper. I'll show you that here when I'm done. I put the little thing in the crimper first, and then, and I have a short wire here, so I can't pull out all the way. I push the wire in all the way. Always got to make sure you get all the different pieces together in there. It didn't all slide in the first time. There, like that. And you just crimp. I give it a really good squeeze just to make sure that it is on there tight, and there it is. There we go. I did get one little copper wire. I want to clip that off before I move on. But Mike, why are you using a white wire? Let me tell you. On these commercial type radios, they tend to have an ignition sense wire, meaning that they are only on when the vehicle's on, and they are only and they turn off with the vehicle, which is good, and in some cases bad, depending upon your vision of how that thing works. So I need a positive wire coming off the battery, or not battery, coming off my switch that I installed a few weeks ago, so I can turn it on and off with that. And that is not necessarily the hot or the common ground, whatever. I'm forgetting my electrical theory right now, sorry. And so that is what that's for. But I am going to use a red one, because it is still hot. It's still working off the hot wire. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you the magic of power pole. I didn't forget to show you. Maybe I can hold this wire as such. No, that's not going to work very well. Sorry. You just slide this on, so the little point on this that's facing down, no. That goes into the bottom part of this. So that slides into this area here. So you just got to make sure you put it in the right direction. And if you turn around, the camera's not going to show it, but you can see fairly easily which way it goes. So there you go. It's all fastened in. You can see that little clip in there. So it's stuck in there. Yes, you can pull out. You just need to have a little tool that gets in there and lifts that little connector up, or pushes really the springy part down, I guess technically, and then you can take it apart. But in this case I don't need it, but not, let me get it hooked up, and then I'll show you the magic of power pole. Pro tip: don't get the cheap ones, or don't use the cheap ones. Get the good ones right away, because they're supposed to stick together, kind of like this. It's supposed to stick together, and then you can add a third one to it, so that you have a 3-prong plug, or you can have an 8-prong plug, and you can stack them up in such a way that they're only going one way. One of them is the cheap one, and I can't get them to stick together, so I guess they're not going to stick together, but it's a possibility. So the end goal here is this. With my car on, you can hear the beeping because it's not actually running. I can hit the radio button and turn on that radio. Here's what I did get done today. So we turn both of those on. Got that light blinking, and then you can see it in the front too. Sorry. Not the permanent way I'm going to do it, but it is definitely the way I'm doing it today. That radio I've been having problems with, so I'm not going to show you turning on the radio because I have power issues somewhere. I think it's a loose power cord somewhere. I got to figure that out yet, but you know what? I don't need it till next spring because that's when the next run of storms come in that I truly need 3 different channels at once. So I'm not going to worry about it right now, and I'll figure out here later. I might just take the radio out so I can play with it and figure out what's going on this winter when I have more time. It's just that some of these cables I had routed in here pretty nicely. So that is the goal. That is the end goal, is having all this kind of sort of set up and controlled right from my point of view here. There's only a few more lights I want to put on the truck. I want to put a couple on the sides, and I want to put a couple in the back. That way, no matter which way we're going, what way I'm putting things, there's blinky lights are fairly obvious that there's something going on, because we like to use blinky lights in our ham radio events. So that is kind of the end goal. Plus, they're freaking cool, right? But more importantly, they're there to draw attention to, hey, there's something going on. Maybe you should consider slowing down, reassessing what's going on, etc. And ultimately, isn't that what they're all for? Is just to get people to slow down and assess what's happening before they just jump in and barrel in at 50 miles an hour into a potential parade that's going across the road at that exact time. Not an ideal situation. So it's supposed to draw attention. Hey, dummy, slow down. Take a look at what's going on. That's the exact same thing as like people on the side of the road who have their lights on. It's to draw attention that there are people working, that there are people doing something. Maybe you should assess what's happening before you do something stupid. So anyway, at least the blinky lights work. The radio we'll figure out here in the near future. But until then, 7-3, WX0MK.